Mm, I tried all that examples, but that one counting number of words, that
Mhm.
logic, some logic is missing. I am unable to do that.
Okay, so you want my help or you need to try it again?
I'll try one more time. I
Yeah,
tried
try it
yesterday
out,
full.
right? So
Uh,
yeah, I
mm-hmm.
think I gave you a hint, right? So how you will do that. So initially you need to check the left and right spacing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you need to eliminate that
Mm-hmm.
from left and right. So after truncating that spacing, right, then
Mm-hmm.
you need to go inside the string. Then string,
Mm-hmm.
you need to use a loop, right? So
Loop. Correct.
when you encounter the first space, so you need to loop it till you encounter the last space.
Mm-hmm.
So that when you need to
Yeah,
correct this, you need to skip, and you need to put this inside
ah,
a temporary array, right?
correct.
That will
Correct.
work fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So are you able to see my screen?
It's visible.
Okay. So what you can do is just try it out again today, right? Then if you are not, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if so it's not working still, then we will see it tomorrow. Fine.
Okay.
Or what you can do is just drop me out mail, right? So I will fix the issues
Okay.
whatever you have, right?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So today we are starting templates, right? So we have templates and exception handling, right? But both, if you try in Turbo C++, right, so they will not work because these are for advanced compilers, correct? So you
Okay.
don't have to worry about this
Mm.
because same thing we will cover in Java in depth,
Yeah. Okay.
right? If you're going in Java in depth, then we will go inside this templates and generic classes, correct?
Okay.
And exception handling also,
Mm.
correct? So still I
Okay.
will give you overview how it will work. It's pretty much straightforward, right? So let me give you an
Mm.
example. So here I'm just saying template. They're nothing but generic functions, right? So what is that? This is our class, right?
Okay. Mm.
So just forget about this portion. Just consider this
Mm.
portion. Class my class, right? And here you are
Okay.
defining, instead of this, you are defining integer I,
I. Mm.
correct? And here you are defining
Mm.
integer j. Now when I'm saying this
Okay.
is class my class and I'm defining two private
Mm.
variables, integer I and integer j, correct? By default, the both are private,
Correct.
correct? In public
Correct.
section, I'm just using my class function in which I'm just, my class is nothing but a constructor, right? Because it's the same as a
Mm.
class.
The
So
same
here,
thing. Mm.
type 1a, type 2b.
Parameter.
Instead, I can write here
Mm.
integer, correct?
Mm. Correct.
Integer,
Okay.
and here I can write integer, correct? And similarly, in last
Mm.
one, void show, I'm printing the values, correct? So here,
Correct.
till now, whatever we have seen, right? So in that case, everything is fixed. I mean, whatever variables we are declaring is data types are fixed. It can be integer, it can be float, but whatever we have, we are fixing it before that, correct?
Okay.
Till now, whatever class
Correct.
we have seen, we are simply saying class definition, then whatever private variables, integer, float, character, or what are the fixed data type we are defining, then we are defining fixed classes. But C++ gave us
Correct.
more flexibility for polymorphism, right? Polymorphism means many forms, correct? So let's say here,
Mm.
instead of integer I and integer j, right? Same class I can use, but I can use different basic data types. Instead of integer, I can use float also, correct? If I'm using
Correct.
float and
Mm.
integer, right? Then in that case,
Mm.
what we need to do, we need to create two classes in which first one will contain integer variable and second one will contain float, correct?
Okay. Correct.
That was the case. So now C++ giving you flexibility, right? Instead of writing the basic data types, what you can do, you can write the generic data types. So it's just like a pointer. At
Okay.
runtime, we will define what is the exactly data type we have.
Okay.
Correct? So instead of writing integer float hard
Mm.
coding so that we can utilize the code, we should not write the extra classes. So C++ gave us flexibility to use the generic functions or generic types, right? So here I'm defining type 1 int I and then type 2 I instead of integer, correct? And right, so just for defining what is type 1 and type 2 here, right? So before the class definition, I'm defining over here class template, class type 1 and type 2. These means these are the global types within class that we will use.
Okay.
So actually, it's defining at the
Mm.
class level that what are the dynamic types we will use inside the class. So at the top, we will declare whatever type we are using. We will simply say class type 1 and class type 2. That these are the
Okay.
dynamic types we will
Understood.
use within a class, because if you check inside the class, right, these two we are using, correct? If I'm using type 3
Mm.
also here,
Mm.
type k, type 3k, type
Okay.
3k. If I use here, then again I need to write over here that these three
Okay.
I'm using within class.
Okay.
Class type 3. Got it? right?
Yeah, got it.
Instead of generic types integer, I will write type 1a, then type 2 b,
Type 2.
right? So this give me more flexibility. I can use any, I mean, whatever I want, I can use data type, right? So I don't need to rewrite the code again. I need to rewrite the class again. I don't need to create the different objects again and again for the same thing.
Okay. Okay, understood.
Understood the concept? Instead of this, I'm using generic type, right? So
Right.
whatever gen types I'm using, I'm declaring at class level that these are the things I'm using within the class. Correct? So
Okay.
these are pretty much straightforward. Let me show you main ones, right? What we will do,
Mm.
simply say we're writing my class, this is my class name, then we are creating object name, and I'm passing the values for
Okay.
constructor. Before that, I will just define what are the variables I need. So I will define integer comma double. So once I call
Okay.
integer comma double, it will check first this thing, right?
Mm.
Correct? So it will pass
Ah,
type 1 is equals to integer and type 2 is equals to double.
double.
Correct?
Okay.
So here
Mm.
you will check this internal will convert to inti and this one will convert to double of j.
J. Mm.
Correct? At runtime. Similarly
Mm.
here it will become integer and here it will become double.
Double.
Correct? So this gives us more flexibility at the time. So when we are creating any object, simply we'll pass integer comma double, whatever values I want to use it. So here I'm passing 10, which is an integer value.
Mm.
Correct? Because I'm assigning it here I is equals to a, and 0.23 is nothing but a double value, which I'm assigning j is equals to b, which is because it is nothing but a double variable now. Correct?
Okay.
So similarly, I can use my class, then characters to character star. These are two data types again. This one is character and this one is character string. Correct?
Mm. Okay.
So here I'm passing x and here I'm passing a particular string. Because x is
String.
nothing but a character
Okay.
and character star nothing but a string. So here I'm passing a string. So
String.
by this we can overload anything. Here I can write my class is my class float, comma float also. Correct? And whatever I will do, I'll
Okay.
say obj3 and here I can write 10.3, comma 45.6. Both are float variables, right? So these are actually taking in a
Okay.
dynamic way. That will create more usability.
Okay.
Same class template we can use for different data types because there might some situation in classes where we need to use integer variables, somewhere we need to use float variables, somewhere we need to use double variables, but the functionality is same.
Okay.
Correct? For that, you don't need to define each and every class separately. For integer variables, you're defining a different class. For this one, character, you're defining a different class. For float, you're defining a different class. So instead of this, you can use this template.
Okay.
Got the concept? Any confusion over here?
Yeah, got it. No concern.
Pretty much straightforward, right? And Java will go in depth,
Mm.
right? In advanced Java, this topic is there. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Any confusion in this?
No confusion.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. So similarly, I'm taking another example, right? So again, the class name.
Mm.
Just forget about this as of now, right? Just consider this thing, class name. Then here, instead of a type, just consider integer. So I'm declaring one array of integer of size. This one size is equals to
Right.
10. Correct? So
Okay.
10 elements array I have. Now in public side, I'm just using register variables already be declared, right? I think we already discussed, correct? Register, right?
Correct.
So I'm declaring the extra integer variable and simply I'm just getting some operation, right? Whatever it's doing, it's okay.
Okay.
Correct? That is fine. Now instead of declaring integer directly integer array, I can use a dynamic array because I can use integer array, I can use float array, I can use character array or any one array, right? For just defining this a type, I'm again writing the same thing, template, then class a type,
Yeah.
because only one I'm using. If I'm using multiple, then it can be comma, class, and so on.
Plus.
Correct?
Correct.
So when I'm creating object of this particular class, when I'm creating a constructor, then only I need to define the particular data type, what I need to pass it at runtime. So here I'm saying a type integer in top. So what it will do, it will convert into an integer array.
Okay.
Correct? At this time, what it will do, it will convert into integer a of 10 internally.
Okay.
Correct? If I pass this float, then it will correct into float array. If I pass double, it will be a double array. Correct? So similarly, whatever operations I'm doing here, I'm just performing some operation, I'm printing the value. Correct? So it doesn't matter, just what matter is how you are calling it and how it will be a dynamic thing. You understood, right? How it will work. Whenever we are creating a constructor, at that point we need to define either it's an integer, double, or whatever array we have.
Okay. Okay.
You got it? Any confusion?
Yeah, got it. No confusion.
Okay, fine. So this is nothing but our generic data types. So similarly, we can do in structures, classes, right? Whatever we want, we can make it dynamic. So that is a simple example I
Okay.
gave you. Right? In Java, we will go in more depth. In C++, I think these two examples are enough if you are able to understand. So any
Okay.
confusion in both of them?
Mm,
Any doubt you have here? How
Okay.
it will work? So these things you just need to consider only constructor part. I mean,
Mm,
at that time only we are initializing what was the basic data types we are passing. It can be basic data type or it can be
yeah.
class data type also customized or structured data type.
Okay. Okay.
Right? It can be character array, it can
Mm,
be a class array, it
Okay.
can be an object array,
Mm-hmm.
it can be structure array, right? It can be a pointer array also. Correct? So depends on our
Okay.
requirement, we will just move further.
Okay.
Okay, you understood the any concept?
Yeah, understood.
Okay. So let me start with exception handling fundamentals. So you remember if else if block condition, right? If else if else if else if, right?
I remember.
So how it will work? It will check the first if condition, then it will go. If the if condition fails, it will go to else if. So again, else if it will check some condition. If it get fails, then it will go to next else if, right? So once we encounter the correct situation, it will skip the whole thing. Correct? So let's say we have condition, then
Correct.
else if first, else if two, else if three. So it was, let's say if condition gets fails, then we go to else if first condition, and if this particular condition also fails, then we go to else if second. Now if else if second will get executed, the condition met, then it will skip the else if three. It will directly come out that if block.
Yeah, correct.
So similarly, exception handling works. So how it will do? It will initialize with try variable, try catch, try catch, try
Okay.
catch, right? But this is not a if condition. If,
Okay.
right? Try means it will go inside every time, just like do while. I mean, this is do no right? Do while loop. So it will execute at least once, correct?
Correct.
So it's
It will at
similarly,
least
yeah.
once.
So because we don't have condition at do, right? We have condition at while. So I'm saying do, then
While.
bracket, then while.
Correct.
The first time it will execute, then it will check the condition. Correct? So what here it will do,
Okay.
try have no condition. So every time whatever code we are writing, it will execute. If it throws any exception, right? So catch
Okay.
statement will catch it. So it's just like else if. So
Okay.
let's say type 1 executes this
Oh,
particular statement, get executed. Then it will skip all the other catch statements.
okay.
You got it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, right? So what is the exact concept of try and catch, right? So let's say I'm giving one program, right? So inside that I'm asking you to create two variables, integer x and integer y, right? So
Okay.
I'm saying just write x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 0, correct? And I want to get the divide of x by y. I want the answer of
Divided.
x divided by y. So x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 0. So 1 by 0 means what will be the value?
It's infinite.
It's infinity, right? So it's not defined.
Infinity.
Correct. So that is it will so what compiler will do, compiler will not understand what is the range because we don't have integer range, we have long range, another range, right? So that has some limit. Infinity, we don't have any limit. So compiler will throw a runtime exception, right? So by exception handling, C++ is giving us a chance to handle an exception, one-time exception,
Okay.
right? It's giving us a chance. If you want, you can handle this exception and fix this error, correct? So if you, I
Okay.
mean, I'm giving one practical example, right? So if you're opening any site, sometimes it's working fine, right? Sometimes you're getting in some error 505 timeout. I think you have seen, right? Some sites we are getting some error. Sometimes when we are running ASP.NET code, they are giving some runtime error in that site that this particular function is not working. We will get back to you.
Correct.
Right? So these are nothing but runtime errors. So these errors can be thrown out directly. We can show at that Explorer level or browser level, or either we can handle it
Okay.
and sort it out in a different manner. Let's say one page I am getting
Okay.
some error, right? So in coding, I will write whatever code I have that can generate error runtime. So that I will write in try catch, right? So inside
Okay.
that I will add the statements in try this particular block, and in
Okay.
catch statement I will add the exception that this I mean, I have that vision, right? That this particular thing can happen. Or at runtime testing, I will get the scenario. At this particular time, something will happen at runtime. So that will give an error.
Correct.
So that particular thing, I can sort it out in catch. So compiler is giving us one chance if I want to handle that particular error or not, right? So within that
Okay.
try statement, I will add all the code. So once I will encounter that particular error, so inside catch, I will resolve it. So just like in your example, right, I've given you integer x and integer y, where I'm assigning x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 0. Correct? So
Okay.
when I will write this code inside this one, and I will say here,
X divided by y.
yeah, integer c is equals to x by y. Correct? And here I will write x is equals to 1. Sorry, integer x is equals to 1 is equals to 1 and integer y is equals to 0. Correct? Now I'm saying c is equals to x by y, and I'm saying c out c. So it will throw error at this point.
Correct.
So runtime error. So at the same time, so compiler is giving you one chance to catch this error and handle according to you, right? So what I will do, I will write over here, right? I will say simply integer 0, right? So it will capture the value, correct? And here what I will do, I will simply say y is equals to 2 or y is equals to 1. Then I will say c is equals to x by y. So this is the fixed our problem. This is equals to 1 by 1, correct? This is equals to 1 divided by 1. Now this fixed our problem and our program is wrote correctly. Right? So compiler is giving us one chance, right, to handle this particular error and fix it out at the runtime, right? So that user will not face any issue that this program is giving error, it's not handling correctly. Because user input we cannot handle, right? So let's say this particular program, I'm hardcoding value right here. So I'm saying x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 0. Instead, I will say scanf statement I'm using. I'm giving a chance to user to enter the value. So it depends on user how he can enter the value. He can write 1 or 0, or he can write a correct number also. Right? So that scenario we need to handle in our program, that if some input is giving wrong, so instead of showing runtime error, we will throw a error instead, better, right? So we will write a cout statement or some write statement instead of throwing in hardcode error, because hardcode error it will terminate the program immediately. You remember that particular case, right? When we are using that one flat statement, correct? So it was saying about termination happened. So instead of that, what we will try to do, we just fix out the program and everything, right? So if I wrote this program and try and catch a statement, then simply I can handle the exception and I can fix it.
Okay.
Yeah, you have any question?
No questions.
Okay, right. So you understood the concept of try and catch now?
Understood.
Yeah. So generally, if you're going to any higher level language, like just like Java, C#, .NET, or any other programming language, SAP, etc., right? So what they are doing, generally they are based all the exceptions on classes. So they are predefined classes for exceptions, right? So let's say I'm writing some code, right? Yeah. Right. So I will show you in Java how exactly we are working. That's a very simple concept. There are predefined classes in Java, or we can create our custom programs also. So what it will do inside that particular exception handling, it's simply constructor they are calling, right? And this particular time, and constructor they are sending some message or something error description, so that we can handle in catch statement.
Okay.
Right? So instead of writing integer 0, I can write the object name over here, class name, then object name. So it will just execute and get the particular contents of that error class. So either we can create our own customer class, or there's a predefined list of classes, right? Just for 1 by 0. So there's nothing but null arithmetic. So we are getting a null value or infinite value. Right, so these are predefined in Java and other classes. I think in C++ also, if you go to advanced compiler, so these are predefined. So that you can utilize. If you want, you can create your own also. But better, whatever is given in system, first try to utilize it, because that will create more efficiency. Any confusion over here?
No confusion.
Right? So we are good. Right? So see, here I'm writing x is equals to 1 and y is equals to 0. So I'm just creating exception, correct? So there might some situation we don't have exception, but we want to throw it intentionally. Intentionally I'm doing it. So see, one example I'm giving you. So I'm saying try start a try block, it will get executed. Okay, I've told you, right? So see out inside try block, then here I'm throwing 100. Intentionally I'm throwing exception, right? So that the catch statement will get executed. So I'm saying throw 100, so it will throw an exception with the value 100. Here I'm saying catch integer I. So caught the exception is printing the value. So I can throw the exception also, because there might be some scenarios where compiler will not, let's say, okay, I'm giving a practical example, right? So let's say I'm just taking input from user and the value should be greater than 10 always, correct? If the user enters value less than 10, in that case, what I will do, I will simply say this is wrong value, but what I will say, I will throw the catch exception. Inside the catch exception, I can write the error message.
Hmm.
Intentionally, I can do also this thing.
Okay, understand.
If I don't want to handle it, again in catch statement, I will write again throw 200 or throw high value. So what it will do inside the catch statement, it will go inside the catch statement. It catches this particular exception 100, correct? It's printing the value. Then again, it's rethrowing it.
Hmm.
Rethrowing it means so try catch statement is there, right? So there is a possibility of nested catch statement also, nested try catch statement. So the next exception handling thing will handle it. I don't want to handle it. The next thing, let's say the next person will handle it. Just like escalation matrix, right, in companies.
Oh, okay, okay,
Remember,
understood.
let's say the client is there, right? So something wrong happened, right?
Okay.
So I'm a team member. So what
Hmm.
he will do? He will just call my team lead
Okay.
or throw a mail.
Hmm.
What he will say,
Hmm.
this person is not working correctly. I'm expecting this to be completed by today, but this person is not able to complete it, right? If the team lead
Hmm.
is not responding, if the team lead don't want to respond it, right? If
Hmm.
the client is not satisfied with the team lead response, then what it will do? It will throw the next person. There's nothing but a manager,
Yes. Yes. Okay.
right?
Hmm.
So try catch statement, the first level is team lead, correct? The first person is
Okay.
catch statement is team lead, correct? So the
Hmm.
try catch statement fails. Again, I will be try, and the catch statement will be a
Hmm.
manager. So
Manage.
manager
Okay.
team lead will throw to manager because he say I will not be responsible person. He's not in my team, right? Or I'm not able to
Okay.
check his person, right? So again, the exception will
Hmm.
throw to manager. If manager don't want to handle, he will throw to senior manager, or he
Okay.
want the person to go out of the company, right? Out of the team. Throw to senior manager.
Okay.
So just like a try and catch statement we have. Now you understood the concept?
Ha ha. Understood.
This is a nesting concept we have. So if I don't want to handle it, I will throw to next person, and the next person will throw to next person. So that is very common
Okay.
scenario in government jobs also, right? Right. So this completes our try catch statement right here. So similarly, I'm showing catching class types, right? How exactly class types will handle.
Okay.
So I'm creating one class, my
Okay.
exception, right? Inside this, I'm saying my
Hmm.
exception, and I'm just initializing the value. This is nothing but a constructor, right?
Okay.
And this is my exception. I'm overriding the constructor.
Hmm.
So here I'm saying character star s, then
Hmm.
integer e. Then I'm saying student
Integer.
copy.
Yeah.
So what it will
Okay.
do, integer e when we say, right? So it will just get copied only the s number of characters inside this str what.
Okay.
Sorry. It's actually str what is a string and s is also a string. So it will copy the contents of s to str what. So str what is nothing
Still.
but a character
Okay.
array,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
So simply it's the exception class in which I'm declaring parameterized constructor and default constructor, right? So parameterized constructor, whatever
Hmm.
message I'm passing, it will copy to is this particular array,
Copy. Okay.
right? So this is a
Very. Hmm.
simple thing. So into
Hmm.
your main, here I'm saying enter a positive number, cin as equal to, so I'm taking the input from the screen from the user, correct?
Hmm.
If it's less than zero,
Okay.
negative value, then I'm throwing the
Yeah.
exception throw. And what I will say,
Hmm.
my
Hmm.
exception, so it will create one object, correct?
Okay.
I'm saying
Ha.
not
Correct. Hmm.
positive, comma I. So
Hmm.
what it's doing when I'm saying this thing, it will be just like this. And say obj, sorry. Let's say I'm saying my exception is equals to my exception.
My
And here I'm
exception.
passing some whatever value I want, right? This is string value.
Hmm. Okay.
So it will call one object and it will throw the object exception, right? So it will return object, correct? Just like here it's returning,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So it will throw
Hmm.
the exception of object, right? To handle the object exception, what we need to define the same thing, same data type. My exception then is
Okay.
nothing but an object.
Okay.
Correct. So same message we can
Hmm.
print out here because we are sending the same message not positive, and here it will get
Hmm.
copied by using the strcpy.
Start.
Correct.
Okay.
And here I am printing
Hmm.
the values.
Well.
So this is actually concept of exception classes. Simply they are generating constructor.
Oh.
Whatever values we have, they will pass it and they will
Hmm.
get the string over there. Then what is exactly exception talking about? When I'm saying null pointer
Okay.
exception, so it's giving a null value. When I'm saying infinite exception,
Hmm.
we give some infinite
Hmm.
value.
Okay.
So pretty much straightforward concept. What exactly I want to do. If I want to
Hmm.
throw it to the next level, I don't want to handle it. That's it. I will
Hmm.
use a throw
Okay.
statement, and the catch will handle it next. If the catch don't want, it will again
Okay.
rethrow it. And this is why I don't want. Next
Okay.
person will handle it.
Okay. Understood.
Any confusion over here?
Confusion.
Right? Rethrowing an exception. Right? Same thing I told you, right? If I don't want to handle, I will throw it
Hmm.
again. Throw rethrow characters out of
Okay.
function. right? So assignment I will give you here, right? So there is one, I mean, if you go to Google, right? So there is one function, terminate and unexpected handlers. So just try out these things. They're pretty much straightforward, right? I think it will take hardly 5 minutes for you, right? And check
Okay.
for some examples of exception handling. So you'll be able to understand how the
Okay.
flow will work. So you understood the basic concept, right? If you are good, then definitely you
I
will understand
understood.
every program, right? This is actually the base concept, right? So you should be
Understood.
clear in that. If you are clear, then any example you can easily understand, right? So just check this
Because
out. I think it will take hardly 5 minutes, right? To terminate if you want, right? So I will just give you overview, right? If you want to terminate anything, right? So I don't want the exception to be handled. In that case, I will use this
okay.
function terminate. Even if I'm writing try catch, but I don't want the exception to be handled. After writing try catch also, there might be some situation for, let's say I have 1,000 condition, right? So in 1,000 condition in 990 I want this particular try catch exception to be executed, but for 10 condition, because of certain reasons or certain demand of customer, I don't want this exception to be handled. So in that case we will use
Okay.
terminate exception within the condition,
Okay.
right? For this particular 10% I don't want this exception to be handled. Let them throw this
Okay.
exception. I don't want this person to be handled, because let's say we are giving appraisal, right? So you have in your company you have 1,000 employees, right? For 990 you are giving appraisal, right? For 10% you are not giving example. You know this person will go out of company. So 10% is by default. Let them go out. Don't worry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So directly we have terminate option,
Understood.
right? So this is the use. So you can just do some R&D. You will understand it. This is pretty much straightforward and very easy and very interesting
Okay.
also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. So we have now C++ into our system basics. Right? So this is very simple. I think we have already used CIN, Cout. Correct. Cout for printing any output at console, and C8 for getting the input from console. The console nothing but your keyboard
Okay.
here. When I'm using CIN, when I'm using Cout2, it will be just output screen wherever I'm printing any value. Correct. So C error and C log generally we are not using. Correct. Generally in system they are using it. Right. So generally we are not
Yeah.
using it.
Correct.
So it's actually standard
Okay.
error. We are printing an output screen and buffered version of error screen. So generally we are not using it. Internally system is using it. Generally we don't use it.
Okay.
At some cases, rare cases, we might need to use it. Right. So this is nothing but formatting now. So everything is covered till now in C++. Right now we are moving to formatting section. So you remember that function, right? Printf. Correct.
Ah. It,
So here I am writing. Let's say I want to print an integer value, percentage d comma. Let's say I'm printing I. This is nothing but integer value I'm printing. If I want to print this value, so let's say I'm printing I is equals to, I'm giving value integer I is
okay.
equals to 30, right? So here if I print this value, how it will print, it will say 30 simply. Correct.
Correct.
If I say percentage
Correct.
4d, how it will print?
It will
Two
go four
spaces then
spaces.
30.
Three
Correct.
spaces.
Correct.
Hmm.
Right. So this is okay.
Hmm.
Now instead I
Hmm.
say percentage 4f dot 2. So how it will print?
Okay, then
30.02.
30.00.
Right. Two spaces then 30.00.
Hmm.
0.00.
30.00.
Correct. So this actually depends on our format specifiers. So printf have different format specifiers, but when we are going to C++, right? So this things is
Okay,
different.
save.
So yeah, so syntax are different. How exactly we want to do. Correct. So if you check this thing format using iOS members, so we are using flex. Few flex we are using here.
Okay.
Correct. So flex we are using here. So these are some flex, right? We have just like show base, uppercase. If you want to convert thing in uppercase, if you want to show point dot dot dot, then I'm using show point. If I want to use show pause means show positive sign, just like here. If I want to show
Okay.
positive sign, I will write positive, and here it will write like
Okay.
this. Correct. So these are some of the thing. If I want to convert it in uppercase, if I want to convert into float value, if I want to adjust the field,
Okay.
so these are nothing but flex. So how we will use it? The example I'm giving you, right? So let's say, okay, let me open C++ and I will show you. Right, so I'm opening a new program. Let's maximize the screen. right? Hash include iostream.h,
Okay.
hash include conio.h, and I'm using void main, right? So here I'm defining cout, sorry, integer I, and I'm saying 100, correct? Now cout, I'm saying the value 100, then get ch, correct? Now I'm using alt F9, that is okay, right? So I'm using control F9 to show the value. It's printing 100. I want to format this value. If I use a printf, then I can use the same format. Now, according to stream, I will modify the stream, how exactly it will work, right? So I'm using the cout stream, right? So this is nothing but an output string, console output string. Correct? So
Okay.
what I will do is I will write cout dot setf. So setf means set flag. So that function we need to use everywhere, right? And inside that I will write the flags, whatever flags I'm going to use it. So the flag will be started by iOS because this belongs to iOS class. Correct?
Okay.
Right? So now I will say show pause. Correct? Now after that I will write this thing. Correct? And I will say okay, I will say show pause. Fine. And alt F9, then control F9. So now it's what it's showing. It's 100 plus 100. That means
That's
100
100.
dot 100 right? So some format you are saying changed, right? Now if I want to add more
Correct.
formats, I will write it again cout dot setf. Now iOS. Now I will say show point.
Okay.
So here is showing show pause, nothing but a plus signature. Correct? Now here I am saying
First.
show point. Alt F9,
Okay.
warnings, then control F9. Now
So plus 100.
it's showing correctly. No, right? Okay. So what I will do is I
Why?
will write show point, and then here I will write show pause. Now we'll see what it's printing. Oh, sorry, I think we are not using clear screen, right? That is the issue. Right? Okay.
But still,
Now it's showing plus 100, but it should be 0.00, correct? Any idea why it's not working? We need to check first
only
the
one
flag.
function
The
is
flag is correct or not.
setting.
First thing we need to check if the flag is correct or not that I'm using, right? So let's see
Okay.
if I'm using the correct flag or not. Right? So it will be show point, then show pause. Correct? Let's see. Look, I think I'm using points over here. Correct? Show point and show pause. Show point, then show pause. Okay, then I'm writing cout 100.0. Okay, cout 100.0. Right, so alt F9. Now it's printing fine.
Oh.
Correct. So these are nothing but format specifiers how we need to use. So instead of writing the two statements, what I can write is I can combine these two also.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
here I will go and I will write this particular thing. Then I will say iOS, then show pause. Correct. Warning statement when I execute it, it will execute in the same manner. So either I can write the combined form or either I can write different stream format. Right, so what it is doing is
Okay.
first applying the setf. Setf nothing but set flag. So this particular flag is nothing just like a class we have, right? So we have static members, correct? So these are nothing but static member of class iOS, right? So we can call directly with the help of this thing. So public static members actually. Show point, show pause. These are all flags, whatever we have. These are nothing but public static members of iOS class,
Okay.
correct? So we can call directly with this, right? So I'm just using setf method. I'm calling this particular thing.
Okay.
Cout is nothing but an object of output stream class here. Cout is nothing. Internally, I'm saying cout is nothing but object of OStream class.
Yes.
Right? So it will call the setF function and it will pass the static values of iOS class as nothing but show point and show pause. Correct? So that will flag your, yeah. Right. So similarly, we have different examples. It's just straightforward actually. Right? You will Google and you will understand how the things will work because different cases we have and you will print it out. Right? So similarly, if you go, so this thing I told you, right? If you want to combine, you can combine with the help of this operator. Correct? Then show point. Right? So similarly, setF, we have unsetF also. If I set the stream, right? So because we are setting the standard stream, right? So if you check the code, we are setting the standard stream.
Okay.
Right? So let's say cout, I'm using this show point, show pause, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm just setting the output stream, right? So let's say cout, I'm printing 100. Now after that, if I print the value also, right? Let's say I'm printing cout 1.1. Correct? Now I don't want to print this value according to this format. Correct? But if you write, you are setting the output stream. So whatever after you're writing after this statement, it will print in this format only. Right? So if you're doing Alt plus F9, right, and Control F9, which one I? Okay, that's okay, right? So if you're printing the value, it's printing in this format only, right? So after this statement, I don't want this value to be printed in the same format. So what I will do, I will write cout dot unsetf, correct? And here I will write iOS and let's say I'm using show point. Second, and here I will write cout handle, right? So you will easily understand what's going on. Formatting, right? Yeah, cout handle. Alt F9. Now you can see the value, it's not showing the dot 00, etc. Decimal point is removing, right? So if I want to remove it further, I can simply write that iOS show pause also. This also property I don't want now. Right after printing this thing. What happened now? Okay.
This is
solution of it. So see, now it's printing only 1.1. Let's remove plus sign also. Correct. So setF, I can set the property. By unsetF, I can remove the property after using it further.
Okay.
You understood the concept, right?
Understood.
Yeah, straightforward. Yeah. Right. So similarly, whatever I have done is showing here, right? So what I'm trying to do is see another example, right? So I'm using setF function. Now here I'm saying uppercase. So whatever value I'm printing, it should be in uppercase and it should be scientific notation. Correct? So let's say I'm printing 100.12, right? So it will print in scientific notation 1.02 E plus 02. Now E is nothing but in capital letters printing because of this flag. Correct? Now I want to remove the uppercase. I will just cout dot unsetF uppercase. Then next time I'm printing 100.12, it will be in lowercase. But still scientific flag is set, but I'm just removing the uppercase. Right? So it will repeat the value whatever it's printing. Only E, the capital portion will be in small one now.
Okay.
You understood the concept? So there is pretty much like setting and unsetting. If we want to set, we will set it. Then if we don't want, we will unset it. So it depends on format we want, we will setting and unsetting it. Right? So setting and setting, unsetting will be done on output stream only, cout.
Okay.
Correct. Now another concept, we have this particular function, right? So we are writing cout and we are writing any value, correct? 100 or let's say I'm printing any variable A or nothing, right? So what it's doing is whatever value we're assigning to A, right? So it's just putting inside the stream of output, right? So print on output screen, correct? It was doing the same thing. Now, let's say I have one class, my class. For that, I'm defining obj1, correct? Now, I want to write the cout, then obj1. So will it work? I'm saying cout, then object1, and inside object1 my class I have three variables, integer A, integer B, and integer C. So will that work? If I write cout obj1, will it print all the values one by one? So what will be the solution? I think we have done this before also. When we are doing the sum of objects, when we are doing the subtraction of objects, when we are doing the multiplication, operator overloading. You remember? You remember, right? Operator overloading. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, so you remember, right? Operator overloading.
I remember.
The same thing we need to do here, right? Because directly we cannot print the object. So C++ will not understand because this is predefined for basic data types to print it. But when we are using object type, then in that case we need to overload it. right? So same thing I'm doing
Okay.
here, right? Overload of this operator.
Mm.
I'm using class
Okay.
phone book. Inside that I'm writing 3 to 4 things: name, area code, prefix,
Okay.
and number, whatever we have,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Then we are writing one
Mm.
constructor, overload constructor, right?
Mm.
Parameters
Mm.
constructor. Here we are passing value and initializing all the things. I'm still using string copy,
Okay.
then I'm assigning the values. Now here, there's one class output stream, as I told you, right? For cout. So that we need to overload,
Ah.
correct? So cout belongs to O
Okay.
stream, correct? So simply I'm
Okay.
writing operators with this, right? Same function we have.
Okay.
And
Mm.
inside this, I'm passing
Mm.
output stream this one and phone book object O, because I need to print the objects of O, I mean whatever values we have,
Okay.
correct? And I'm
Mm.
returning the output stream object again. So here I will write the same thing, stream, because I'm passing this thing. I write O dot name, A dot name,
Okay.
this thing. So when I'm saying cout, I mean when I create this, when I'm saying cout obj1, right? Cout, then
Mm.
obj1, correct? So obj1 will be
Mm.
passed out here
Mm.
as object, and cout will be called as an
Okay.
object of this stream class over here, right? And whatever value we have, we are returning it finally, right? So by this, you will create the scenario. I mean, you can create the or overload this particular operator to print the values according to you,
Okay. Understand.
right? So this we call as extractors. So these are nothing but we are creating our own extractors,
Non extracted.
right? So you
Okay.
should try this today. How exactly it's working, right? So syntax,
Mm.
you know, right? How exactly it's working. So
Yeah.
here I'm
Yeah.
using and,
Yeah.
right? And I'm using directly to get the address
Okay.
just to make it more efficient, correct?
Mm.
When I'm saying cout obj1, so what it will do, it will pass cout as object over here for output stream. O stream
Okay.
means output stream, output stream
Sure.
class, right?
Okay.
And obj1 is this one object that I'm passing. Here I'm
Mm.
passing phone book, right? I can
Mm.
write phone book. So this is nothing but the class name. Then I will say obj1, correct? And so I'm saying cout
Mm.
obj1. So here it will pass the phone book object, and here it will
Mm.
pass the obj1 object, correct? What it will do, it will go
Mm.
inside this one. It will use the stream. It will write the o dot name area, simply
Mm.
whatever basic data is. It will print the values, and finally it will return the
Understand.
stream and will assign this to
Okay.
cout,
Okay.
correct? So what it will do internally, how it will work, cout obj1. Internally it will do like this: cout, then printing the first value, o dot name, correct? So it will be print like this. So
Mm.
for second one again it will be cout, then it will print the value, area code, and so on, right? So that we are overriding over here, that we are defining that, but this particular cout when we are using an object, so how it will behave, correct? So this is the syntax and this is the operator overloading what we are trying to do here. And OSTream nothing but output stream class. So simply,
Okay.
right? So if you go inside this one, so stream is nothing but an output object that we are passing. So output object in by default in C++
Mm.
library, it could recognize the basic data type. So these, if you check, name, area code, prefix are nothing but our basic data types only. Correct? So it's printing one by one these basic data types, character, integer, and all these things. Right?
Mm.
You understood
Mm.
it, right? How exactly we are working? Any
Understood.
confusion in this? So we are simply
No
passing the
confusion.
cout object and we are printing one by one values, basic data types value inside
Mm.
the class. Because compiler will not understand cout object. It will not understand what is the object and how it will print the value. So what we are trying to do, we are breaking it inside the
Okay.
operator wording. So it will print the values one by one. So cout stream is
Mm.
nothing but cout object only, but it's parsing the values just like this. So it's printing one by one values.
Mm.
You understood the concept? Any confusion over here, you can ask because
Understood.
that is important. So similarly, you can do CIN operator overloading also. That is a part of your assignment,
Mm.
right? So
Okay.
instead of this thing, you can write
Mm.
CIN also.
Okay.
Correct. So in that case also CIN recognize the
Mm.
basic data type. So again you need the phone book I instead of this thing. You will write this thing.
Mm.
So it will take the inputs one by one. And you should
Mm.
need to use that flush.
Mm.
Flush is not directly
Okay.
working in C++. So instead that we have one flag in this flag, iOS flush. So that we need to use it. So we will write CIN, then we will write iOS dot flush. So CIN dot setup,
Okay.
then I will write iOS flush.
Okay.
Right? I can write this way, CIN dot setup, then I can write iOS, then flush. Correct. So after
Oh.
flushing, again you need to
Mm.
do the unsetup also. CIN dot
Okay.
unsetup, because it will clear other streams as well, right? Whenever you are taking the input. After flushing it, you will again use iOS, then F-flush. iOS, then flush. Correct? So this will work in C++ behavior. And C, you know, right? F-flush stda and how it is working.
Yeah.
So you understood the concept? Any confusion over here?
Mm-hmm.
But that is important, right? Output stream, how exactly we are working. So if you want to print the object
Okay.
values, then simply we'll pass the use this particular
Yes,
overloading
yes.
function.
Okay.
Inside this, whatever class members we have, we are print one by one. Because cout will recognize basic data type. It will not recognize the object. I mean output type. Sorry, object.
Okay.
So you understood, right?
Understood.
Any confusion over here? Because that is the important part. They may ask this in interview. Because if you want to print any
Okay.
object value, then how it will do? So you will simply say cout will recognize only basic data types. So when we are saying objects, then we will use the operator overloading concept or create our own extractors. In that case, what we will do, we will pass the C output stream as object and we will print whatever values we have or whatever data members we have in classes one by one. And finally, we will return the string or return the object cout. Right. So it will be like breaking like this only. So cout will print one by one o dot name, then area code, then prefix, and so on. Any confusion over here, you can ask. Because CIN, yeah. So what you can do is just check in assignment CIN, right? And you should just overload this value by using own extractors or operator overloading, whatever you want, right? Own extractors or operator overloading are same. We are creating our own extractors here because we are defining the system, right? How this will work and how that will work.
Okay.
Correct? Okay, so this we are calling it how it will work. So we are passing all the values and printing it, right? So ABC is nothing but objects. And here we are passing the value and simply we are saying cout, then A, then B, then C. So it's calling the object and printing it. Correct? The program will print like this. Now another example we have for format specifying, right? So till now we have seen, right? We are using printf percentage 4d, right? So similarly we can write cout dot with 10.
Okay.
Printf percentage 10d. It means printf percentage 10d, then I'm printing some value. Similarly in C++ I can write directly cout dot width 10. That means we are setting the width of 10 for the output stream, whatever it's printing. We are setting the precision equals to 4. That means only up to 4 decimals it will print.
4
Correct?
digits.
Correct. Now I'm saying cout, then I'm writing 10.12345. So up to 4 digits means 10.12 only. So it will print up to 10.12. Correct. It's printing in width of 10. That means it will leave the spaces of 6 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, then printing the last thing. Sorry, 5 is spaces because this is the value of 5, right? 10. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The dot will also calculate. So 5 spaces is booking, right? So we need to just press the 5 spaces. Then to print the 10.12 value. Correct. Now after this, I'm saying cout dot fill star. What does it mean, right? So we have width of 10. Correct. That means 10 characters can print. But now we are saying precision 4. So only 4 characters it will print, right? So now we have a space of 10 and it's printing only 4 characters and 1 dot. So we have a space of 5 now left. So 5 spaces it will fill with star.
Okay.
Now 10 width we have, now whatever spaces we have will fill with star, right? So it will fill 10.12 and all the remaining spaces will fill with star.
Okay.
So you have seen in bank slips, right, or ATM slips, they are using star, 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 star. They are using the same concept over here.
Okay.
Correct? Now again I'm setting the width is equals to 10, then I'm just using this thing.
Okay.
Right, I'm setting the width is equals to 10, I'm using higher than star. So only 3 characters is booking, 1 for exclamation mark and high for 2, right? So for 7 spaces it will print the stars only. Correct? Because width I'm setting is 10. Correct? Now width I'm setting 10 and I'm saying this back I was left. I want to print in left side instead of right side. So what it will do, it will print the left side 10.12, then on right side it will print the stars. So it's just like a left justify. If I wrote right, right over here, then how it will do? It will again print in the same manner, this manner. When I'm saying left, it's printing in left way. Otherwise, I'm saying right, it will print in right way. If I say center, right? So how it will print? It will be like star star, then printing the value 10.12, then star 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 star, like that.
Okay.
Right? For center.
Okay.
So just like a formatting options, how we exactly want to print, that's it. So you can place very easy. So these are nothing but predefined functions. So once we set the value, we will print the value. After setting the value, if we don't use it, then unset up the particular flags.
Okay.
Right. So these are the few flags and few functions we have that you need to set, correct, while displaying the
Okay.
output. So straightforward
Okay.
and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can
Yeah.
Google it within 5 minutes. You will understand how. Generally, runtime what we see, we do the same thing. Right. You Google it within 5
Okay.
minutes. You'll understand how we'll print it and done.
Okay.
Very basic things and very easy. Yeah.
Mm.
FSTM I told you, right? iOS flush we have. So if I want to use the flush, then you let CA setf iOS flush, then CA then setf iOS flush.
Okay.
So another example we have is, so here let's say cout the setf, right? So here I'm saying show point, then this one show pause, correct?
Okay.
So this is nothing but a combined flag. You remember initially I told you, because initially I'm writing this one, then I'm hitting enter, then I'm writing setf, right? So this is nothing but a combined flag, right? This is flag 1, combined flag 1, and this is nothing but combined flag 2. What the compiler will do, compiler first will go to flag 1, it will set the value according to this, then it will go to flag 2. Now flag 2 values will override the flag 1 values, whatever we have set.
Okay.
If you're using comma operator, you remember, right, it will take the last value only.
Correct.
Correct. So this is flag 1, combined flag 1, and the last we have flag 2, right? So flag 1 will be set by compiler, then this one will be override the values of these flags.
Okay.
So when I'm saying 100.0, ideally it should be plus 100 point something like that, right? That I told you, that I showed you, right?
Yeah.
It print
Correct.
only show point, right? Because second flag is overwriting this flag, so it will print only 100.000. It will show only the points,
Okay.
right? So this is the property of comma operator. So it will just override the flag, whatever flags we have. Similarly, I can define more flags over here, flag 3, flag 4, right? So last flag will be actually executed. So it will override the next flag values. Got the concept?
Got it.
Okay. So I think formatting portion, everything is completed now. So we are moving to file handling. Correct. So file handling is pretty much straightforward, right? Just like these functions you are using, right? So these are standard library functions, whatever we are defining. Again, file stream, we are using the same thing. And we are reading the file or when we are sending the file, right? So till now, whatever we have done in C++ and C, what we are trying to do is whatever inputs and outputs we have, right? So we are directly taking from console.
Okay.
Correct. So when we are getting the input, I'm using CIN, nothing but object of input stream class, right? iostream.h class. So what we are doing there is when I'm using CIN, so it's getting the input from keyboard, right? And when we are saying cout, so it's showing all the output at output screen. This is nothing but a console output, correct? So instead of sending this to output stream and getting the input from keyboard, we are sending it to file. That's it. So we are taking the input from file and we are setting the input to file, right? So instead of using iostream.h class, we have different classes. Input stream and output stream. I'm using ifstream class. It's nothing but input file stream.
Input file stream.
Yes, nothing but output file stream. So classes name will be changed and the functionality will be same. And if you want to use both, right, just like I'm using iostream.h, so nothing but input output stream.h. So this is a concept simple class fstream.h, nothing but file. So it will take input and output both, just like iostream.h, just like iostream.h, nothing but input dot output. Correct. So simply we can use fstream. Right. So these are nothing but header classes. We can use it further.
Okay.
Right. Header classes and sorry, classes name also. Sorry. You understood? So these are nothing but simple syntaxes we have standard, right? So this we want to open any file, right? So we'll say simply type and open. And these are the flags we are setting. It's using for input or it's using for output. That means we are getting the reading the file or we are setting the file. Or it's using for both purpose input and output. Right? So different modes we have. These are nothing but flags. Correct. So this is very straightforward. Whatever we have done till now in output stream, this is the same. So everything, the concept will be same. So the file handling concept is coming because we need to store the file, we need to hardcode the data, or we need to save the file in hard disk instead of setting all the things to RAM. Because whenever we are executing the program for cout or cin stream, right? So it's setting the output to output and getting it from the input stream. So that is nothing but runtime memory or RAM memory they are using. But now let's say I want to store that particular data and use it further in future. Then how can I do? Because the RAM is nothing but a runtime memory. Once the program executes finishing, all the data you have, it will get terminated, right?
Okay.
right? So just to maintain the database, you can say, right? So we can use the file handling concept,
Okay.
correct? Let's say in my program, I'm using, okay, in C++, I'm creating one bank program on employee information, right? So that employee information, I need to pass it to some other company, right? By some interface or
Okay.
something. So what I will do is I will just execute my program and whatever information we have, right? So whatever we have done till now C++, right? So I will do all the operations C++, whatever we have, I will get final data. Now this final data, when I get the
Okay.
object in final data, this object I will pass it to a file to store the data, and that file I will send it to somewhere, or I will store it a shared point.
Okay.
So another one,
Okay.
another interface can execute the another interface will take your file and get the input from there, and whatever they want they can use with that information. Either they can upload in their website or somewhere. Just like an interface we have.
Okay.
This is a simple concept. Instead of sending your output to console thing, I'm simply giving it to file. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay.
Everything is same apart from
Okay.
that. So right, for that you have some standard functions defined. Correct. So here I'm taking a simple
Okay.
example. Here I'm defining output stream object. Correct. Out. And inside this I'm passing the class invntry. Correct.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to do is I'm just getting an object and I'm passing the particular file name invtry.
Okay.
Right? If this file is not found, that means we need to create the file in system first, right? And to define the
Okay.
variable. So it will throw the an error, right? Cout error, then we'll return that value, right? Otherwise, what it will do, will we are setting out, right? So out will be like cout, correct? So as we are writing cout a, right? Or cout any value 100, correct? So similarly, out will be an object of output stream class. It will work as same as cout, but it will print in file instead of output stream.
File. Okay.
So I will write out,
Okay.
then radius. This value will be get printed. Then I will say 39.95 and I'm putting handle. Correct? Now out,
Okay.
then toaster, it will print the value like this value. Then handle means next line it will go. Then again it will print,
Oh.
then print the value and will go to the next line. This will behave like a
No.
tab over here.
Okay.
Right? And once everything is done, I pass the value to files. I will say out.close. So I will close the connection
Close.
and I will return the value. Right? So
Okay.
I will show you how it will work, where you will get the files, right? So inside C, you go in Turbo C++, right? In disk, you need
Okay.
to place the files. So this is inventor file, just I have seen. So here it will print the value like this, radius, toasters, and mix.
Okay.
Similarly, if I want to read the file, I will put over this folder and I will read the file,
Okay.
right? So just note this path,
No.
cout, then Turbo C++, then disk, correct? Here I made the files. You got it?
No. Okay.
Right, so here I am printing the values roaster, then this value, then toaster, then this value, then mixer, and I'm just fetching handle. Handle means next line. First it will print this thing, then it will go to next line. Similarly, cout, right? We have same functionality for cout. It's printing the first thing, then it's going to next line, then it's printing this thing, then it's going to next line, then it's printing this thing, then it's going to next line, then finally it's closing the connection with file and it's returning. That's it. Either I can write return or either I can write get ch. Right? If you want, you can write. Similarly, for input, how it will go? We will take the file, sorry, we will take the class if stream, input file stream, right? And I'm creating one object
Okay.
n, and I'm taking this invntry. This is nothing but a text
Okay.
file here.
Okay.
This is nothing but a text file over here, correct?
Correct.
So if I'm not finding an object, that means there is no file created inside this particular folder, right? So it will throw an error, cannot complete the file and return. Otherwise, what it will do here, it will create one temporary array, float cost. Now, similarly, we have CAC in, right? Just like scene it will operate. Similarly, we'll say
Okay.
then it will take the item, that will take the cost. And again, what we are trying to do, we are printing it at output stream, that what we have taken inputs.
Okay.
Right? So it's taking the input from file. So instead of keyboard, it's taking the input from file. So we are reading line by line. So it's taking the first line in which we are setting item and cost. Correct? So it will assign the item value to item and cost is equals to cost. Now finally we are printing to our output screen to show what exactly we have cached. It's printing the value. Again, I'm going to second line, it's getting the value, then I am printing. Again, it's getting the value from file, then it's printing on output screen.
Okay.
Right, and I'm closing it. Any confusion in this? Any confusion you have?
No confusion.
Sure.
Hmm. Sure.
Any confusion you can ask at this point. If you want, I can make this one program, right? And we'll just take the value. What is that? Inventor, right? And we go one by one.
Hmm. Okay.
So again, hash include ifstream.h, iostream.h, because we are using cout also, right? At some point.
Okay.
Stream.h, then hash include conio.h, right? And hash include. We should use fstream.h, right? So it will contain input and output both.
Hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So let's say first we will take output stream ofstream.h, right? Ofstream, output stream, right? Output file stream. Then I'm writing one object out, and here I'm assigning. What is the file name?
Inventory.
Here we are using it, right?
Hmm.
Sorry, I think 1 second. Output stream, output file stream out. Okay, no, this one is not. We need to use this one, inventor, right?
Hmm.
That file we have created, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have inventor, correct? This one we have done. Now I will say out. Now simply I made the connection, right?
Okay.
Connection with output file, correct? Now I will write out roasters, then roasters, and I will write the value 23.08. Correct. Now again I will say out. Now I will say hello. Correct. I will write the value 33 and something like that, right? If I will write get ch errors unknown processor directive include. Okay, sorry. Size of mean is unknown or 0. Oh, sorry. 1 second. No success.
Hmm.
Right? Get ch. I think I'm not using clear screen, so it's printing the earlier values, right? Correct. I'm using clear screen. Control F9. Right. So when I'm hitting enter, now I'm going back. I'm checking this particular class, right? Turbo C++. This, and finally we have inventor. It's printing correctly or not? It's overwriting.
No, it's not overriding.
No, it's not
First
overwriting,
values.
right? 1 second.
Hmm.
Inventor.txt. Let me clear it. Right. So inventor.txt, right? So the same.
Hmm.
Okay. It's INVNTOR. Spelling is correct, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It should be inventor. I think it's okay. Yeah.
Inventor only takes.
So now Alt plus F9.
When
That's now what is the error? Undefined symbol D. Yeah. Oh, okay. Clear screen after that. I think this one I wrote it.
Okay.
Sorry. Right. So F2. OF stream. Right. Alt F9. Errors. Now what is the error? Syntax error. Opening brackets.
Syntax.
Now it's okay, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Get ch. Yes. Now. No. I thought it's printing value. Why?
Hmm. Inventor.
It should print, right? Ideally. 1 second. Let me open it.
Open.
It should print value actually. 1 second. Let me see what is the issue.
Hmm.
Why it's not printing values? 1 second, we'll check it, right? Maybe it's showing some exception, right?
Hmm.
Write the
Okay.
exception code.
Exception.
Right, so we will write the
17.
condition if not out. Right, so output is not assigned a value. In that case, I will write cout exception.
Okay.
Cout exception. Correct? Alt F9 on illegal character hash where
D starting line include I was taking
sorry,
starting D Z.
I don't know what is happening today. No successful. This. No, it's not throwing exception. Then what is the issue? We will write .txt also, right? But Alt F9. No successful now. Control F9. Done. Now we will check again. C++, then disk, then inventor. Still it's not printing. It should print, right? In morning I tried, it was working.
Maybe it's because of my effect.
No, it should print actually. 1 second. Ideally it should print, right? Inventor.txt. That should print value. Okay, let me copy it and I'll put inside that also bin folder. Here also I'll print it, right? I will paste it. Right, and then also I will paste it. So we will try which one is printing.
Okay.
My battery gone. 1 second. Yeah, now it's connected. 1 second. Right, so here I will do the same thing. I will write the paste. Oh, the better file is there. 1 second, let me check it. Maybe it were filled. Inventor.txt. It's getting filled over here. See, I was seeking what happened. Right, it says going inside bin folder and filling the values.
Okay.
Now you understood how it's working? Right, so put the file inside bin folder. That's outside.
Okay.
It should be inside bin, right? Because all the things we are getting, I mean header files and everything, we are getting the input from bin only. Your output, I mean whatever files you're using, it should be inside bin only.
Okay.
Got the concept? How it's working?
Yeah.
Any confusion over here? Because simple examples I have taken you, right? Because tomorrow also we'll go to the same example, because this is the basic thing, right? We're getting an output object of a stream classes, file output stream, then we're getting input and we are just setting the input and output things, how we're getting it.
Okay.
Some function, I mean, only standard functions we are using here, right? So just like cout we are using, correct?
Okay.
Set the output and get the output. Now, when we are reading the file, when we are setting the output, that is pretty much straightforward. We are just throwing the output and it's working, right? But the position if I want, right? Let's say we have already contents in file, right? I have 10 lines of character. Now, after 10 lines, I want to add the next characters. I don't want to override the file. So in that case, also there is one flag.
Okay.
Append. Yeah, correct. So similarly, when we are reading the file, right? So in that case, we need to consider a couple of more functions, right? Either we need to read at particular index, or either I need to search a particular thing. I will use fseek function. Correct. So I need to search a particular object, a particular character I want to search, or at particular encounter I want to search. I want to check the end of file. Correct. So I want to read the file till I reach the end of file. Because if you check the notepad, right, so there is no class left defined. Right?
Okay.
Either we can write a specific character at last, that I'm writing some exclamation mark or something. So by that I can understand. Right? Because we are reading characters one by one. Correct. So either I can write some exclamation mark or some special symbol to terminate it. Right? Or if we don't want it, we will write the end of file function, EOF function. So it will understand when we are ending the file. Because if you check the notepad file, right, so there's no limit. You can write n number of lines. correct?
Yeah, correct.
Just to ensure we are
Hmm.
reaching at the end, we are using AOF function, correct? So it's a dynamic thing, or either I can write some special characters. So these are sample of the
Okay.
simple operations we are going to perform, right? If you want, you can try it ahead also before going for the next class, right? So you
I have to
understood where
look
we
at
need
it.
to place the
Yeah.
class and where we need to operate, right?
Hmm.
In bin folder, you need to place your files, correct? Inside that,
Hmm.
you will get the input and output.
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Any confusion over here? And by default, if you've seen that when I'm simply using output stream object, right? So what it's doing, it's overriding the value. If I execute it 3 to 4 times also, so we'll get the same output values in the file. If I want to append
Hmm.
it, then in that case, I need to use IOS append flag.
And
So it will append the
okay.
values one by one.
Okay.
Right? So as of now, if I execute this program around 10 times, it will override the values in 10 times.
10 times. Okay. Understood.
If I want to
Hmm.
append it, then I will use the IOS append flag. So it will append the values one by one instead of overriding the values. So there might be some situation when we are writing some string to particular file, right? Then in later case, I want to add more strings. So adding means
Okay.
appending, correct?
Okay.
If you want to override it,
Hmm.
then simply we will override it. Simply we will write the syntax, it will override by default.
Okay.
Any confusion over here, you can ask.
Okay. Here, no confusion. Yeah.
Sure?
Sure.
Okay, right?
If I'm
So
trying
practice
any
this, but
assignment, then
yeah, just
okay.
try this assignment, input an output stream, see how it's working. So use cout parameters
Okay.
like andl and all these formatting options and see how it's working inside the file. Is it working or not? It should work.
Okay.
Just we are changing the string,
Okay.
that instead of printing it output screen, we are
Okay.
printing it file level, just to store it in database level so that we can utilize it further in future output type. I mean, whatever output we have.
Okay.
So are you clear about this?
Hmm.
I think then we are good for today's class. Right. So any confusion you have or any